Hey guys, welcome back to Manchester Lane Radio, the official podcast of the Shaw Store in Melbourne. We are back after a very stop-start last year. We're going to be trying to pump these out every week. And listen, I had to get back on my feet, my podcasting feet. So I went back to the basics with one of my favorite people to podcast with, to ease me back into it as only she can. Welcome to the podcast, host of Triple R's Breakfasters, comedian Geraldine Hickey. How you doing?
Hello. I'm very well, thank you. Yeah, good. I've just been for a run. That's why I'm red in the face. I say that because, you know, I'm a runner now. Just go for runs. Drop that in.
Love your runs. Hey, do you know what I appreciate about running? Is when I was little, my mum would go to Frankston, and my mum would give me like an hour to go to the shops I wanted to go to.
Yes.
And I reckon I'm 8 or something. And so I had to meet her back at a certain store at this certain time. So in between stores, I would sprint
to get to
make the most
stalls, yeah.
Make the most out of the time. And I remember running past adults just walking like normies. And it's like going, what are they doing?
Whoa, look at all the shops.
They're wasting the good streets of Frankston with this leisurely pace. No buys.
Would you get money to spend in the shops, or are you just looking at the shops?
I love a browse to this very day.
Me too.
Love a browse. So
yeah, you know. I'm not adverse to going to a shopping centre just to walk around for something to do.
Love a mall.
Yeah,
if it's roofed, if it's open, I'm all about it. The food court, you always got your favorite food courts.
Yep.
Like, you know, if you're like going to Chatty, it's just like the world's your oyster. There's like 7 different food courts.
There, you know, it's good. Anyway, how are you? It's good to see you.
I'm good, buddy. I am. It's a bit cold here. For everyone listening, I'm stuck in Los Angeles because the borders are closed.
Do you want to come home? Do you feel like, would you, given the opportunity, would you come home or?
Oh, not forever. But like if
it'd be nice to visit family and whatnot.
Well, I used to come home to work like every 2 or 3 months. So I'm pining for it. But I can't do the 2 months, not 2 months, 2 weeks. Like in isolation, whatever that you have to do now.
Yeah.
That would cripple me emotionally and financially.
Oh, yeah.
So,
but you just, you know, play video games or something. I don't know. I haven't had to do it, so. Also, I haven't had to have a test yet either.
No way.
Yeah, very uncommon given that I'm a Victorian. But I spent lockdown, a lot of it in regional Victoria, and just haven't been sick for 12 months. So haven't had a need to get a test.
It's cold here at the moment. It's winter. And I got a slight sniffle the other day. And I was like, oh, remember the feeling. It was like some bizarre reversed version of, you know, like in a science fiction movie where the planet is decimated and it has no life, but then they see a small little plant grow and it's like,
yes,
life can come back. Well, that's me with disease. I got this little sniffle and I was like, oh, I can get sick still. I feel alive. It feels good blowing, you know, like it's something, there's something soothing about like just the occasional nose blow. So, I've kept healthy. You're just back in the studio now at Triple R, right?
Yeah. We did 10 months from home, and it was an absolute nightmare. Nightmare's a big, you know. It was it was really hard. Like, and I know a lot of people, like even people at the station, like our, manager and the station manager and our producers and stuff were like, oh, it sounds like you're all in the same room. It sounds really good. And we're like, yes, we know, but we're not. And the effort that it takes for us to make it sound like we're all is exhausting. Like
Yeah.
it was.
It's like if you juggled on a unicycle chainsaws.
Yeah.
And you did 3, right? But then one day you had to do 9. And they're like, oh, it looked like it was the same amount of effort. It wasn't.
It wasn't. It's not.
It was less fun. And admittedly, I've taken on a life of chainsaw juggling. So I like things pretty difficult. The line of sight and just being in the same air.
It goes from, because there's 3 of us, it goes from me doing a monologue for a talk break to us having a conversation. It'd just, because there's no more, no, after you. It just makes such a difference being in the same room. And also now that we aren't in lockdown and we're able to get out and do some things, I've got things to talk about. It was 10 months of, there's only so much things in the past you can talk about. And like I would have to come up with like 2 talk breaks a day, every day for all of that time. And the amount of times I'd just be like, okay, now it's time for where have you been? What have you seen? And that was just the 3 of us would talk about a walk that we'd been on.
After like 6 months, you're just like, I just need another kilometer, Dan. Give me 1 more kilometer.
Yeah, and that's the other thing, because I was in regional Victoria, I was in South Gippsland, in Venus Bay. So we didn't have the 5K. Like we're in lockdown. So we're only allowed to leave home for the 4 different reasons, like for the care, exercise, work, and I don't know, something else. I can't remember what the other reason was. But so if I could, means that I could go to the beach or go for a bit of a drive, but at the same time it's like I would do these things, but like we're broadcasting to Melbourne mostly, and it's like people in Melbourne don't want to hear about my trip to the fucking beach. They're like, shut the fuck up, we don't want to hear about that. So I'd have to go, oh, isn't this hard, it's so we're in lockdown. It's very tricky to navigate what people wanted to hear, and also, keep them entertained at the same time. I had one person. I had a bit of still do have this bit of a troll that, just for some reason, just despises whenever I talk about comedy. Like just every time I mention doing like any sort of comedy, like I think they first popped up when I said, oh, I was doing Josh Earl's podcast, and I mentioned it, and then on the text line just pops up with this, oh, stop talking about your career. It's just like, oh my God.
I could accept it if they texted in, stop talking about Josh Earl.
Yeah.
Because we've heard enough, especially on Triple R, of all places.
Yeah. Oh, we love him at Triple R. But yeah, it was just this, and so every time I mention anything about doing a gig or whatever, they tend to pop up and go, ugh, why are you talking about? And then when we came back from holiday, so we're like, oh, thanks, put out on the social media, Breakfast will be back. And they're like, oh, thanks for letting us know. So now I know to tune into PBS. And it's like, yeah, great, tune into PBS. They're a great station. Like, we're all in the same boat. But also, you're not tuning into PBS because you still, every time I mention something about comedy, you're popping up going, oh, look at you with your bloody... oh, I hate it. I'm like, why are you still listening? Anyway. Very amusing. So yeah, it's good to be back in the studio.
Excellent. Did you take advantage of the being by yourself at all? Like, were you doing like pantless Thursdays or
Oh,
doing
mate,
doing some cleaning as you chatted it up? Or
did I? I'd spent a lot of time looking out the window. That was nice. We got. I really got into bird watching during lockdown.
oh wow, I thought I was
yeah.
bored.
Oh, but no, don't knock it until you start it. Like it's
Until
real
you've
good.
until you've stared it.
Yeah, until you had a look. It's very meditative, and it's something to for people like with the 5K lockdown, the challenge was to see how many birds you can spot in your 5K radius. And I thought I was doing pretty good. Like I didn't have that 5K radius, but I was just like, I'll just see how many I can find anyway. And I thought I was doing pretty good with like 21. I was like, I'm pretty proud of that. And then asked like the bird expert that we have on all the time. And he was like, oh, yeah, I'd expect a few more than that. And there was one guy who just was in the perfect 5K radius of like having like.
Don't make excuses that he did better than you. Oh,
Well,
he was in the perfect radius. He lived just next to the Melbourne Museum, and he got to go and look at the exhibit.
No, he lived in like there was like a wetlands in one
Oh, that is
corner,
cheating.
and then like a forest area in another. So, and he saw like over 80 different types of birds.
Well, thanks for texting in, Mr. Attenborough. Good for you and your wetlands.
Yeah. So I bought binoculars so I would kind of sit there and because we'd also broadcast. It means we couldn't hear the music, so like we'd chat, and then there would just be
silence. You couldn't hear the music when you did the show?
Yeah, I did 10 months of radio without being able to hear the music.
Oh, that is so disconnected.
Yeah, it's really sad. And then, so it's really kind of, at the end of that 3 hours, you're like, okay, see ya, click, and then just sit in the room by yourself. So, but we got, I got a pair of binoculars and I would, just kind of look out the window and try and see what birds were outside.
Because I might be romanticizing a little bit, and maybe this doesn't happen every day, but I would imagine getting up, at the crack of dawn, hard to do, especially in Melbourne when it's a bit chilly, and the whole atmosphere of like going to Triple R and it's the trams out the front and everyone's gearing up for a day. It must sort of like add, I don't know, to like the vibe of we're broadcasting to Melbourne.
Yeah, totally. It was very different. Like it was different, like kind of, talking on the radio to people in Melbourne and then I'd sometimes look and go, oh my God, there's kangaroos outside. So it was just, it's like, oh, this is so Aussie, but, it was weird. And also like going into the studio, like there's not a lot of traffic around in the morning and stuff. And it's just kind of, it'd always be dark. And then you kind of come out and it'd be a new day and, the sun would be out. Whereas at home, it was just, that was it. I mean, that was one good thing is being able to actually watch the sun rise. And after, doing that, getting up before the sun rose for, 5 years, essentially 4 years, it's like finally, it's like, oh, this is nice to actually watch that happen.
When you put it like that, that's thousands of sunrises you've missed.
I've missed a lot, but I'm happy to miss them again.
They need a window, or at least a sky roof. So how? Listen, I think Geraldine Hickey hosting Triple R's Breakfasters. It's a perfect, like, I don't know. You just seem so Melbourne for it in my mind. When I think of Melbourne comedians, like Hickey, you are like, if you're going to do, like, let's do, this is like the Melbourne showcase. How did you end up like doing it, and like, how have you found it?
Oh man. Oh, I ended up doing it. I guess the long version, it all started with the download, the podcast that I did with Kate McLennan and Anne Edmonds, and we did it for one season of footy. So 1 year. So it was just us talking about footy, because we all three of us liked footy, and so we'd go to a game, and then our podcast was talking about our experience at the game. And we were making, we're not experts, all right? We're not experts. And we would just talk about things like, we do our food review, which was just a hot dog every week. And we'd rate it out of 5. And like, do you get a good snap of the dog? Yeah, I got a good snap of the dog. And it was just all very silly and stuff. And then like a year later, like, we just didn't get around to doing it again in the next footy season. And then the season after that, Triple R got in touch, and they were like, "Oh, that podcast that you did, would love you to come and do a summer fill." So they have new shows in over the summertime and we got 4 weeks to do a sports show, because this is during so there's no AFL. So and I was like, oh, and it was at that stage of like, oh man, we should be getting paid for everything that we do. But Triple R is a community station. So we're like, oh, what's the point? This all this work for what? And then
I've got bad news about this podcast, Geraldine.
Oh no, it's all good. I'm happy to do it, But Kate McLennan was pointed out, and she said, nah, Triple R listeners buy tickets. And so we're like, oh, yeah, okay, we'll do it. And then we did it. And then they said, would you do it, keep doing it throughout the year, have your own show? And I didn't realise how big that was at the time. It was just like, oh, yes, all right, I'll come in. But it's like, Triple R is such an iconic station, and to get a show on the grid is like pretty amazing. But I knew how, iconic the station was and stuff, but I just kind of had it in my head that, people came and went all the time, but it's not really like that. It's really, a lot of thought and planning goes into who gets the show and why and whatnot. So, and I was doing, and this is around the same time that our old mate Josh Earl was doing Breakfasters, and he was kind of finishing up at the end of the year. It was just like he had other plans, and the team wasn't working that well anyway. So he was like saying, oh yeah, we won't be back next year. And then he was like, you should do this. And I was like, oh yeah, I'll think about it. And then it was announced that they weren't coming back. And then I was just waiting for, like, I don't know, for them to call for people to apply for the job or something. I was just like, just kind of going, I'll definitely apply for the position if, when they advertise it.
Geraldine, you have been in show business this long, and you're so nice. I didn't. Oh, hey, they're hosting a show. Oh, I didn't see applications at that. I've got to check the Channel 9 website more often.
But it's just that's also a very female thing to do as well. Like, we don't think like, no, I deserve that. I'll just fucking do it, mate. So
shots fired at Nick Cody.
Oh yeah, for sure. He's the master of it. He's you want to do gigs? Just fucking book a flight to Perth, and you just go, hey, I'm coming to Perth. Put me on. It's like, oh yeah, that works for everybody. So, but Josh was like, oh, kept on messaging me and going, you should do this. I was like, yeah. And then then it clicked. I went, oh, should I email them? And he was like, yes, mate, yes. And so I did. I emailed and said, "Oh, hey, just what, like, oh, just I don't know what you do, but yeah, just throw my hat in the ring."
Just waiting for the applications to go up.
Yes, pretty much. And then got a call like, the next day saying, "Oh yeah, we got your email, and just wondering if you want to have a bit of a chat about that." And I was like, "Yeah." And this phone call came after I'd been for a swim, so I'm in the car, just in my wet bathers with a towel wrapped around me, just going, "Oh yeah, I can have a chat," thinking that they were going to set up a time to come in and have a meeting. And then they just went, "Yeah, so we'd love you to do it." Like, I was like, holy shit. Just, got the job. So, and then I found out, like, after I'd started, like 6 months later, that they had already wanted me and they were just waiting for the right time to ask, knowing that Josh and I were good friends, and they didn't want to make Josh upset by asking me too close after he lost his contract.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so they were like, but not knowing that Josh was going, "You should do this job," and they were like, "Oh no, we just got to be nice to Josh about it." So because I'd done
that sounds very unradio,
doesn't it? But that sounds very community radio.
Right on.
And that's the big difference. So yeah, and this is my 6th year doing it now.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, and it's been heaps of fun. It's been great, except for last year was shit. But
didn't hear any new songs.
Yeah, I know, it was real sad.
So did you guys talk to each other during those bits, or like what happened?
Yeah. We could, because we were just, it was all on Skype, so we'd just be on Skype and just kind of and we had to,
and they couldn't find a way just to patch through the
oh mate, so much effort went into trying to make that music come through, but they'd built a program to allow broadcasters to broadcast from home. So when we were all at home, nobody was in the studio. So there's not like there's someone at the studio, pressing the buttons to play, the announcements and whatnot. But it was all from home. So it was kind of one connection had to go for us and then another for the music. So you couldn't put the two together. And it was one of those weird tech things where it was just like, it seems really simple, but it bloody wasn't. Like, it's like when getting set up to doing radio at home and just having, plugging them. I've just got a USB mic and just trying to work out how I could hear myself through my headphones.
Oh, that's impossible.
Nah, I know, but I've worked out how to do it. But I just thought that was like, surely that's a thing. But it's like, nah, it turns out gamers don't want to listen to themselves because, that's the only people that were using mics and stuff. So
no offense, but I can see why,
Yes, it's very good. But maybe they should listen to themselves. So be bit better. Yeah.
Teach them a lesson. Hey, so I looked up because I was like, I haven't seen Geraldine do stand-up for like a couple of years. So I went on YouTube and you're at the gala. Very exciting.
Yeah.
And
yes,
I'm watching it and you're telling a story about the day we went to Disneyland. Because I was like, we've got to talk about our date at Disneyland. And then I'm watching this and I'm like, it's on
the gala, mate.
She's on national TV in front of all these people. No name checks. No, you could have done and I was with my friend Steele Saunders, and just wait for the wave of what go over the audience. But it would have been worth it for me and my self-adulation. But first up, let's talk about the gala. That when you walked out, was that your first one?
No, that was my second one, but I was much more confident with the second one.
I'm back.
Yeah. It was the first one was like, oh shit, and it's just, oh man, it was just so dope. And you ask advice, like, you ask everyone, like, what should I do? And then you take the wrong advice and you kind of just get in your head and go, oh, I wish I'd done this differently and stuff. And then the next time I was just like, no, I'm gonna give them some classic Hickey. I think the first one I don't know. I was suggested to me that probably best not to start with sup fuckers.
How dare they?
Yeah, and I regret not doing that.
Because on the second one you did it.
Yeah. Sup fuckers. And like people, were like in the first one, who were like, oh, did they edit sup fuckers out and stuff? And it was just like, oh no. I mean, the first one was fine, but
I love it that it's such a disgust. Do you have like the sups fuckers bumper stickers that you sell after gigs and all that?
I don't. It's just one of, I don't know. I don't normally draw too much attention to it, but I really like it. And there was one stage where I thought, oh, maybe it's time I, let that go. But it's just such a easy way to start. Like
starting is hard.
It's real hard, and also it's gender inclusive.
Yeah. No, it's not virgin inclusive though.
No, you can be a fucker and a virgin.
Ah.
Yeah. You fucker.
Hey, what are you implying? I've got a child. I've got proof of concept.
Yeah, no, you're a fucker. But there's others that might be fuckers.
Because that is like when you listen to like American comedians from a certain era, they always talk about going on, Letterman or older ones, Carson, like on Mark Maron or whatever. But I feel like for Australian comedians, the gala is that like you walk out and you're like, oh, this is a milestone sort of thing. Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. And it's a long way to the microphone, so you've got a lot of time to think about it. Like it's, you get introduced and then it's oh man, it's so far. And then you get like, when you're walking to the mic and you're just hoping, please keep on clapping until I get there. Please keep on clapping until I get there. Thankfully they do. So, but yeah, and then it's over so quickly. Like, I mean, it's only 4 minutes anyway. And it's just, yeah, you don't, I think the first time I didn't get a chance to kind of soak it all up. Whereas I think I did a bit more the second time. And I'm doing it again next week. So I'm, and I'm excited about the material that I'm doing this time. I'm like, this is a really fun, bit of material that I've got planned. So yeah, I'm pumped.
How long did you go without doing a gig?
Oh gosh. Not including like online ones, March, April, May, June, like 4 months, I guess, 4 or 5 months.
Hey, yeah. How did the online ones work? Can you hear the audience? It's like the concept of it sounds
horrendous.
Like, oof.
Yeah.
0 bites.
I think it's you kind of, I didn't mind them too much if it was right. Some of them you could hear people, you'd go, turn your mics on. But it just some of them though, the heckling was just like, because I did a couple like corporate type things, which just meant that you'd hear Geraldine. Yeah, no, it's Geraldine. She's a comedian. Yeah.
I love that this like the technology and COVID and stuff has like it's invented new ways for stand-up comedy to be miserable. Do you know what I mean? Like you've got all those
So
things
funny.
like just like heckler or bad mic, bad lighting
Yeah.
that like no one shows up, and it's like, hey, we've got this new way for things to be like super uncomfortable.
Yeah.
If you liked doing the fluoro lights on footy club out in Berwick, then you are gonna like everyone on the call can also talk. That is
Oh man, it was so funny. Oh, you just hear like, yes, I'll have a glass of wine, please. Like it's just that little chit chat that just comes through so clearly. Like I loved it. I thought it was funny. But yeah, but the good thing about it is that, you do a gig and, it'll be 10 minutes or whatever. And then it's done and you're at home. So you just shut the computer and then swivel your chair around, go back to watching the telly. It's like,
yep,
oh
show business.
yeah, but that's what it's about. Like during the last festival that we did, or maybe anyway, Anne Edmonds and Nath Valvo and myself like doing a timing how long it takes to get from stage to couch. So like during a festival show, we're like you time it from the moment you go, thanks very much, good night, to when you're sitting on the couch at home. And my record is I think it's under 10 minutes.
No way.
Yeah, absolutely. Because there was during Melbourne Fringe, I did a season, and the venue was like literally like 200 meters away. Like it was around the corner, and so it was so close that I didn't know what time to leave the house because I was like, normally you get to a venue early to kind of, just be there and stuff. But I was just like, I'm just walking across the road. So maybe I'll just stay here. Oh, no, you should go. You should go. No, but what are you going to, why? Like oh, no, just go. So it was during that I, could go, good night, and then come home.
It would be
I
weird.
would come home to use the bathroom rather than use the bathroom at the venue. That's the dream. That is the dream to be.
You're at home and you need a drink, so you go back to the venue, use your drink ticket, and take the beer back.
Sneak it back under your shirt.
It'd be weird to be in your house with that adrenaline still.
Yeah, that's why I didn't know what to do. I went over early. Like I can't stay here. I need to be over there looking and stuff. A show this year in Melbourne is on at 6:10, and I'm so excited. 6 is the new 8. People don't want to stay out late, so I've got a 6 o'clock time slot, which means that I can be home by.
I like any theory that rhymes. 6 is the new 8. People don't like to be out late. It's like, oh my god, she's right, because there's two noises that sounded similar.
Yeah, it's true though. Like for me it is. I'm like so pumped that I can do a show and be home by 7:30 to watch all the good stuff on the telly. Like lockdown made me appreciate just. Actually, I already did appreciate it. Like during festival, there was all I ever want to do is be at home, just have a night at home, because you know how relentless festival is when you just like every night you go, oh, got to go do a show. And yes, it's fun and it's the fucking best when you're doing it.
I used to always find like the Monday or Tuesday after festival, just sit at home and go, all right, let's find out if I'm an alcoholic. Like, because you just had like 23 New Year's Eves or something, and it's and it's like just to stay home and like just have a tea or something. It's just bizarre. you're talking about your trip to Disneyland
Oh yeah.
in the gala. So I loved that you had a great year and you treated yourself to a theme park pilgrimage of California. I go past. Did you go to like Magic Mountain?
Yeah, mate.
So I drive past that a little bit because we go out to the forest to do stuff outside, away from all the people, socially distanced. Because LA, it's beyond Thunderdome as far as COVID precautions. It is. You just do your own thing.
Fuck hell.
Let every fucker for themselves, Geraldine, to borrow one of your phrasings. But yeah, so we go past the Magic Mountain out at Six Flags, and it's all closed, and it's got like the craziest spiraling metal roller coasters. And when it's not, because none of them are moving, it just looks evil. Humans once went there to be tortured. The gnarly ones don't do much for me.
Oh, I love them all. Because when I went to, like, I had a good festival the year before, and like for the, it had been like the first time after doing 10 years of comedy festival where I actually started making money, and was like, oh well, I'm gonna bloody go to Disneyland, and I've just loved theme parks. And it was just I talked about it in the show how when I was a kid, Dad took us to Wonderland in Sydney, which is a theme park in just outside of Sydney. And I was so excited. Like, I'd been there once before on like through Girl Guides. We went on a trip to Sydney. We got to go to Wonderland, and
the way your face just lit up when you said Girl Guides, you have fond guiding memories. You like really.
Yeah,
are they all your old Girl Guides badges in the frame behind you?
No, that's hand painted. I bought that original artwork at another festival after doing very well. So that's what I do.
Invest in the arts.
Yeah. Anyway, so I went. I'll go to. Oh yeah, because Dad was like took us to Wonderland, except she got there and went up to the counter. And this is like we'd driven for like an hour, and we were in a Tarago, and it was with me, like my brother and cousins and stuff. And the whole time there, I was like, just couldn't stop talking about how great this is going to be, and we were like so pumped and excited. And then get there, and Dad goes up to the counter to buy our tickets, and they said, "Oh, it's however much it was." And I remember at the time going, fuck, that's so much money. Dad, we don't have that amount of money. And then Dad like pulls out those entertainment vouchers, and he goes, oh, but I've got these, and slides them over. And they go, oh yeah, that's this much. And he goes, oh, no, they're free, aren't they? And they go, oh no, it's just a discount. And Dad went, oh, I thought they were free. And then kind of went, oh, okay, and then walked away, and then went back and said, all right, everyone back in the Tarago. And then we never went in. And there's something really I don't know. I don't know if you've ever been to like the car park of a theme park while it's going.
That's like a villain origin story.
Oh mate, it was brutal. Like you've got an hour driving there, and you're so pumped, and then you get there and you can see the rides and they're going, and you can hear the screams and the laughing.
It's a land of wonder.
Yeah, and you're like, oh my God, we're so close. We're about to go in there. You can smell the popcorn and stuff. And then, we'll just go back and watch the cricket. It was real bad. So when I was like, well, here I am financially independent, the one thing that I'll do is, I'm going to treat myself, and I'm going to go to fucking Disneyland. But then I was like, well, if I'm going to Disneyland, and I, like theme parks. I'd always had a thing about Knott's Berry Farm. I think I'd read about it in books and it had been mentioned in various different pop culture things. And I was just like, oh, Knott's Berry Farm sounds so cool. Quite close to I'll go to Knott's Berry Farm as well. And then someone else was like, oh, mate, if you're going to go to LA, theme parks, you've got to go to Magic Mountain. I'm like, oh yeah, I'll go to Magic Mountain. And then of course you've got to go to Universal Studios. So I spent like 7 days in LA and 6 of them were in theme parks. And the last one was with you in Disneyland. And then you drove me to the airport.
With wet pants, apparently.
Yeah, it was a bit wet from Splash Mountain. We got real splashed.
We had to no need to call in the lawyers on the advertising on that one.
No. And I bought socks. We went to the store. That's probably why I was running so late, because we were in the store, and I bought a T-shirt and 2 pairs of socks, which I still wear to this day. And it was like, I just the thought of getting through that security and thinking about the dry socks and the dry T-shirt that I was going to put on before I got on the plane was real nice.
New socks is such a treat for a flight, especially like the LA Melbourne flight. It's like if you can bust out, a fresh pair of socks, and also if you dare to take off your shoes to relax, like you
don't have to worry about the odor. Yeah.
Well, my thing on a plane is don't be the person that other passengers are talking about in 3 years' time. Like, oh, there was this one guy and he put his feet up and like you just make sure you're not that person's story. And I think through the use of clean socks, you're well on your way if you keep them on. Speaking of treating yourself, Hickey, I hooked you up. I sent you the coupon.
Yes.
Hold out maybe a week or two, because we've got some sweet tracksuits coming in.
Sick.
And I feel like you can have, like, to get home from a gig, especially during festival, put on your matching tracksuit, your little relax. Like I see them as like relaxation spacesuits. Like you just. Yep.
I need matching tracksuits. I've got tracky dacks. I've got plenty of jumpers, but no matching. And it's like one of those things during lockdown. I was like, well, that's something I'd like to get. So I will fucking hold out. Well, great.
It validates the lifestyle choice as well. If it's matching, it's like, well, at least it matches.
Yeah. And also being a lesbian, I can get away with like wearing that out in public anyway, I think. You
just show your card.
Yeah. I don't need to show a card. I just show my face and they go, yeah, you're a lesbian. Like,
we actually, get it. Hickey, it's been an absolute treat.
Oh, thank you. It's been nice to catch up.
Yeah. I like, this is classic me, is when you did a very enjoyable podcast. Like, so this is based on you, but then I congratulate me for choosing you. You know what I'm saying?
But you asked the right questions, don't underestimate your value, the value that you bring.
I think you're right, Geraldine. I am. This has been, thank you to you, but mainly thank you to me.
We've had a great time.
Hey, Hickey, let the good people of the internet know where they can track you down and see your show.
It's I'm on Twitter and Instagram, like at Geraldine Hickey, and like for all my live shows and stuff, you can just go to comedy.com.au and all, just go. I'll come up somewhere on there with various other people, but yeah, that's probably the easiest way to do it.
Excellent. And you're doing a show in the festival this year, or?
I'm doing a show in the festival this year called What a Surprise, which is I wrote pre-pandemic, and I'm still do it. I turned 40. I don't know, a while back now, and because it was such a big significant birthday, like, and I'm shit at organising things. Like, I knew friends and family were like, "Oh, what are you going to do for your 40? You got to do something for your 40th. What are you going to do? You got to do something for your big 4-0. What are you going to do for your big 4-0? What are you going to do?" So to avoid all of that, like about 6 months before it, I said to my partner, "Can you please organise me a surprise 40th?" And she did, and it was. Oh my God. Like, it was the first night, like, I just thought, oh, she'll just organise like a party. Like, and we were at the pub, and of course, friends and family are like, a surprise, like, oh, this is great. And then I had a friend go, "I'm so sorry, I have to go home tomorrow." I went, "What?" She goes, I can't stay for the rest of it. I went, there's more? So it turns out Kath had organised like a 3-day event. Like, there were stubby holders, and it was too much. Just could not mentally handle it. I was just like, you have to, like, it got to like
I just wanted to see everyone for about 3 hours.
Yeah, and it would rolled on, and like very different people would come to different things, and it started like we were at a pub, and then there was a winery tour the next day, and then there was dinner that night and stuff, and I was just like, by the end of the winery tour, I was just like, you have to tell me who's coming to dinner and how many and what is happening, because my mind would go like up. It'd be like, oh my God, maybe I'll come home and there'll be a bouncy castle. Like, maybe she's organised a bouncy castle. And of course, there'd be no fucking bouncy castle, and I would be disappointed. And that's a shitty thing to do when they've organised such an epic thing. And I walk in and I'm, oh no, because you know what I mean. So it's about, I just had to go, you have to tell me everything now. So, so the show's, got a bit about that. And also got it, part of it was I got engaged as well. So
congratulations.
Thank you.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks everyone for listening or watching on YouTube. Hit subscribe, all that good stuff. Write reviews, and our buddy Dill is on the first episode. So if people want to hear Dilruk Jaya Singer, who's doing ads, I've seen him pop up in my feed. He's doing ads promoting
Melbourne
going back into the city. I'm like, mate, film one in my shop. Come on, buddy.
Oh, yeah. Come on.
They forget about you so quick, Geraldine. They forget about you so quick. Thanks, Hickey. This is the best.
Thank you. Bye-bye.